Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'm Julie, your host, and I'm so delighted you could join us this week. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all over the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. And we have a whole bunch of callers on hold, so it'll be fun to see what their questions are and see what Spirit has to say as far as an answer goes. And I tell people this show is always a crapshoot because I never know who's going to call and I never know what their question's going to be. So that's what makes it so much fun. I hope you enjoy listening as much as I enjoy doing it. But first, I have Will and Karen from the Skeptic Metaphysicians show on. Will and Karen, are you with me?
We are.
We are.
Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hi, Julie. Thanks for having us on. It's really exciting.
You bet. I was on their show recently and I said, oh, you guys need to come on my show so I can introduce you to all my listeners. And they're corporate people like I am, but they've gotten into some woo-woo stuff. So please tell everybody about you, about how you got into that. And then I'll ask you to tell everybody about your show.
Well, thanks. We are TV people. We're TV producers, but we do this show because, like everyone else, during COVID-19 times when it was first hitting, everything kind of collapsed in on us while it was happening. And in the middle of this existential crisis that I was having, I started looking into mental health solutions and things like that, but then found that mental health was great, but it wasn't enough. So I started looking into all different types of metaphysical modalities that could help me to explain why I was here and why the world was the way it was. So I started talking to people in the metaphysical world and learned little by little that, holy smokes, there's so much out there that I don't know about. So I brought in Karen to help me to make heads or tails out of all these paths that are out there. And we found that no matter what rabbit hole we fell down, we found 5 or 6 or 10 more rabbit holes we can go down. So we're learning that the more we learn, the more there is to learn out there.
And on a personal level, it has been the changes in Will since he started this podcast have been night and day. It's just such a sense of community. And I think now that he's become a little less skeptical, he's so much more able to relax, to love, to express himself. So it's really been a fantastic journey for both of us.
Yeah. I've always needed a little bit of a pragmatic viewpoint.
Karen, when you thought you had trained him, he's ended up surprising you in ways you didn't even need to train. Oh my gosh.
I had no idea. And I have to say, I'm very pleasantly surprised.
I bet. Well, what has surprised you the most about this metaphysical stuff, and what all encompasses your genre that you're having on your show? I mean, is it just woo-woo stuff like I do? Are you doing people that are doing different modalities? Explain to us a little bit about, if somebody listens to your show, what they'll find.
Yep, we do it all. A little bit of metaphysics, a little bit of paranormal stuff, a little esoteric stuff. We had you on the show. We just released that show today, and it's doing great. People are loving the woo-woo that you do, but we also had very recently, we haven't released it yet, we're releasing it next week, someone who came on to talk to us about reverse speech. Back in the 80s when you would play records backwards and people would say there was these messages on the records. Well, he's made a living, 40 years, of finding these messages, of these reverse speech messages. And he played a bunch on our show, and it was mind-blowing. But we've had people that do breath work. We've had past life. Oh, wow.
Like, what was a message?
Surprised me the most.
The Kennedy one.
So apparently, he played one where John F. Kennedy was giving a big speech, and in this speech, he played it backwards, and he had a premonition of what happened to him, of his assassination. Because he said, head hits back of the car, something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like my head hits the side of the car, something.
Yes. So this was months before his assassination, but his reverse speech, when he played it, we heard him say very plainly, "My head hit the back of the car," which was crazy. But then the one that really surprised me the most was his daughter, when she was very, very young, in the tub, could not speak yet. She couldn't speak any English yet. But when she was doing the gibberish thing, she was trying to reach something in a bathtub and she couldn't reach it. And when he played this speech or this conversation she was having with him backwards, he found that she was saying, "Daddy, please help me." It was, oh man, I'm getting shivers right now.
And you can hear it. You don't have to, really, does that sound like it? Maybe if I kind of squint. No, it really, like, it's legit. You can hear these words that they're saying.
It was plain as day.
Huh. I've never heard of that. Interesting. So they're not saying it, but when you play what they're saying consciously back, then these hidden messages are in there. So what does he attribute that to?
Well,
he says it's your subconscious communicating and your higher self communicating with someone else's subconscious and their higher self. So kind of like, if you're talking with your spouse and you can finish each other's sentences, that's part of it too. He's just saying that's how we communicate on a higher level.
Yep. Yeah, and he shared a bunch of sound bites with us and played them back. I mean, there was no doubt. I mean, they were saying what he was saying. They were saying, and I had never heard of it either, and I was shocked. Julie, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I unbelievable. I mean,
yeah, you would hear these kind of funky sounds, and then this phrase that was very clear, and then the funky sounds again. So yeah, it was really incredible. It was so much more than I expected it to be.
Mm.
Huh. Well, so you guys, I know, come from network TV. Is it possible to put that together in a, I don't know, some kind of editing thing?
Anything is possible these days, Julie. Honestly, anything is possible. But I don't know that he would want to go through the trouble of doing this. I mean, he had soundbite after soundbite after soundbite, and he played them all. And
it would be a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sure, anything is possible. And I do ask him, because I'm the skeptic of the bunch, I do ask him, I mean, you can go through thousands and thousands and thousands of speeches, and eventually you're going to hit on something that played backwards says something. But these were so specific to what they were talking about. They really pertained to it. There was a Clarence Clearwater Revival song that he played right off the top that was talking about the reverse speech pertained to the song that he was playing. Like everything, it's not gibberish. It's not someone's talking about pineapples and the backwards speech is suddenly talking about race cars. Like they would be talking about a different fruit or something. It was the weirdest thing.
It was weird. And the way that the kind of sounds flow really seamlessly into the actual words and the vocal quality, it's all there. So for someone to sit there and take the time to put that together, I mean, I suppose it could be done, but wow, they would have to be really, really good.
Yeah. But he was just an example of the kind of people that we have on the show. We have all different types of modalities. We've had people that have conscious contact with UFOs. We've had people that do breath work. We've had past life regression therapists.
We had vampire. We had hand analysts.
Absolutely. We had the whole gamut. Whatever you can think of in the metaphysical or paranormal worlds, we dive into it.
And the thing that has surprised me the most is that there's always more. It's like this exponential, this net keeps opening up. The more we find, the more there is.
Well, and I'm as much of a skeptic as anybody. I'm listening to some of these different types of guests that you have, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, come on. And here I am, a psychic and a medical intuitive saying that, but I'm first a skeptic too, like you guys, and I gotta go, okay, yeah, show me the proof. But yeah, interesting, yeah. Terrific. So what surprised you the most of all of the guests that you've had on? Is there one thing that has surprised you the most about this whole metaphysical space that just blew your mind?
Well, I think in general terms, I think the thing that surprised me the most, me at least, I can't speak for Karen, but for me is when I realized we're a year and a half into this show. And when I realized that the more I spoke to people, I understood that we're all saying the exact same thing. We're just using different languages to do it, different modalities. That it really suddenly everything clicks. Right? I'm a pragmatic. I'm a scientist. I need to wrap my head around the facts. I can't just believe something offhand. I need to have some sort of proof or some way to wrap my head around it. And with the advent of quantum physics, that helps a lot, right? Because the cat is both alive and dead at the same time, if you know quantum physics. But what surprised me the most was that, as different as everything sounds, we had someone who does Thai Buddhist magic on the show, and we had someone that talked about near-death experiences. Everything that they were saying were so completely different, but at the end of the day, where they landed was the fact that they're all saying the exact same thing. We're all going to the same place, and we're all just need to be good people.
Exactly. Well, we're going to need to go to break. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll have how you can reach Will and Karen in the show notes, but it's the Skeptic Metaphysicians show. And if you go on my social media feeds, you'll see we've got links up there. So thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You bet. Welcome back, everybody. Our next caller is Courtney. Hi, Courtney.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Terrific. Please tell everybody where you're located.
I'm located in Tasmania, Australia.
All right. Well, terrific. What time is it there? It's already the 20th. It's the 19th here, but we're talking to you real time in the future.
Yep.
Oh, talk about whoa. I mean, really, we're talking. We didn't even time travel. So, what time is it there?
It's about 10:30 in the morning.
Okay, terrific. Well, good. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Do you have a question for me?
I do, and I thank you so much for taking my call. Julie, I was just sort of wondering, I had heard about you by someone who has been in contact with you, and instantly everything in my body has just said, I need to try and get in contact with you and book a session. So I was wondering if you were able to do a medical scan on my body, just because of the past 2 and a bit years I've been really struggling with my health. And yeah, just to see what you could see and shoot me off into the right direction if possible.
Absolutely. Now, we'll do that when I have you alone for an hour, but is there something in particular that you want me to scan just for time's sake on the show? I try and get as many people on as I can. So do you have something in particular you want me to check?
I would love you to. I have been having like really bad headaches and a lot of pressure in the head, as well as my heart. So I'm just wondering if that's specific enough.
Headaches, and what was the other thing, Courtney?
Just with my heart. So high heart rate and not being able to exert myself much.
Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to you energetically. For those of you that are first-time listeners, how this works is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, because we're all spirits attached to a body having a human experience. And when I raise my vibrational level, I watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to go really far south to Courtney in Australia. And then I'm going to have a hologram of you in my mind's eye, Courtney. I'm going to envision shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head, and it's going to be as if I'm looking at an X-ray or a CT scan or an MRI. Something will be identified immediately thereafter. There will be some type of energetic healing that will happen. I'm going to mute you while I do this just because of the background noise, and then I'll bring you back on. I'll unmute you here in a second. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading down to Tasmania. So, I grew up with the Tasmanian devil in the cartoons, so that's the first thing I think of going down there. Okay, got you. Shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head Yeah. All right. Looks like your blood pressure is really elevated. All right. Your blood pressure is elevated. Have you taken your blood pressure lately?
No, not necessarily, but I have noticed an increase in it because normally it's pretty like a lot lower.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really,
And
it's up
a
there.
lot higher lately.
Yeah, it's up there right now. So, have you been exposed to something that you normally aren't around? Are you around mold? Are you around some kind of environmental exposure to something?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think since I took a certain medication, I've been experiencing a lot of head pressure and head pain.
Yeah.
And also, I've just moved into a new house in a really damp sort of area, so there's possibly mold around.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm getting mold out of your system while we're talking. And so I think it's mold exposure causing it. As far as the medicine, if you do an internet search, Courtney, and you type in the name of your medicine and you type in the acronym N as in Nancy, N as in Nancy, T as in Tim, NNT, it stands for the number needed to treat. The higher the number, the less effective the medicine. So if you have a medicine that has an NNT of higher than, say, 15 or 20, you want to see what all the side effects are. And then you can have an intelligent conversation with your doctor about, does this really make sense for me to be on this medicine because it's causing all these side effects and it's not very effective. They may be able to switch you to a different medication or you can do something else. So look up the name of the medication and put NNT at the end of it, and you'll get a number. And then that will give you some information, at least to start the conversation with your doctor.
Yeah, thank you. Unfortunately, I don't think that I'm going to have much of a choice in terms of this injection and medicine, because I don't think there's much information out there at the moment. I'm trying to be a little bit non-specific with it. It is a vaccine, so unfortunately, I'm not really getting any answers from anyone or anything like that.
Okay, well, I'm clearing it out of your system as we speak, so that will help with that. But yeah, schedule an appointment with me, and we'll have a whole hour to reverse engineer your symptoms and see what's going on, and then do healings to see what we can do to help you feel better. In the meantime, what can Courtney do to help her with so I'm get an air purifier, especially in your bedroom. Put HEPA filters in your HVAC. I know it's getting cold down there, right? You guys are going into winter down there, right?
Yeah, very cold.
Yeah. So get new filters in your house. Pay the extra few dollars and get the fancy HEPA filters. They're like an extra $4 or something, and they're so worth the difference. And that'll help in the short run. And then I'll look forward to having you for a whole hour. Hope you feel better.
Oh,
thanks, Courtney. You bet. All right, everybody, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to get Kathy on next. So we'll see what her question is and see what Spirit has to say for an answer. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's go to the phones. And our next caller is Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Hey, Julie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Well, doing well. We're not at home right now. We're down in Florida having a little vacation. But I wanted to ask you a couple of things about my son. He died almost 21 years ago. And we got some messages from him, some things that we felt like we were communicating with him early on, meaning the first 5-8 years. And now that time has passed, we don't seem to have those as many as we used to. And I was wondering if you could tell me some ways to pay attention to things or ways to communicate with him now that we're further down the road.
Sure. Great questions. I'm so sorry about your son. I can't even imagine what you and your family have been through. So my sincere condolences.
Thank you, Julie.
His passing. Yes, first of all. Secondly, Kathy, our heads are big satellite dishes, and they receive and they transmit frequencies. Every spirit has a frequency that they keep throughout all of their lifetimes. And in order to get in touch with them, all you have to do is think of him. What's your son's name? Clark. Okay. So when you think of Clark, he immediately is going to come in. This works with any spirit, whether you knew them or not, when they were alive. You want to talk to Clark, you want to talk to Moses or Aristotle or Shakespeare or whomever. It doesn't matter. You just think of them and they immediately come in. So they're going to communicate telepathically. You want to say something to him either aloud or in your head, Kathy, and he's going to answer you instantly. It's going to come in. It's going to feel like it's your thought in your head. How you'll know it's him is when you get the answer, when you get something in your head within a second, that's going to be him communicating with you. Within a second or before, sometimes you even have the thought or the statement made or the question asked. Sometimes they'll come in that fast. If you think about it for more than a couple of seconds, that's going to be your brain talking to you. So that's one way. You just think of him. Also, when you're doing something random, like just driving down the road thinking about whatever, or fixing dinner, or folding laundry, or just any kind of an activity, and he comes in your head out of the blue, that's him letting you know that he's there. Those are a couple of ways that you know he's around you. Another thing that you can do that's really fun is before you go to sleep at night, say, hey, Clark, meet me in my dreams and come up with a location. Like, where do you want to meet him? Tahiti or wherever. And oftentimes you'll dream about him and they'll be able to communicate. He'll be able to communicate with you in your dreams, sometimes easier than when you're awake, Kathy, because our brains are at rest. You know, we're always thinking of something when we're awake. But when we're asleep, our brains can rest, and then Spirit has an easier time of communicating with us. What were some of the signs that he gave you early on?
Actually, I could feel him put his arms around me. You know, the presence, the scent, the smell. You know, I always walked down the back steps, and he could wrap his arms around me. He was so much bigger than I was. He was 6'4", and he would put his arms around me. And many times when I come down those steps, I feel him wrap his arms around me, and I can smell him. And
wonderful.
So some of those physical things that are just so strange, but you know, it happened many, many times. And so that's one. And some, you know, special thoughts, you know, special things that we did together. You know, I can recall those, and you know, I dream about those, and those come back very frequently. But you know, as time has gone on, it's less frequent, obviously. But those were real helpful things to remember. And
well, ask him. Say, hey, Clark, you know, I need a hug. I haven't had a hug in a while. Can you give me a hug? And then just be open to how it's going to show up. Because sometimes we're getting signs, but we're so focused on how it's going to come in or how he's going to communicate that we miss it. So be open to how it's going to come in. It sounds like you're a kinesthetic learner, because you're telling me things that are feeling, you know, tactile, that you're feeling. So ask him to do something specific. Say, hey, you know, I need a hug, or hey, can you send me something? You send me a pink flower. Can you send me
in other words,
feather? Can you do something like that? And you'll be surprised how it shows up. Now, if you say, hey, send me a feather, it doesn't mean a feather's going to end up in your living room. Certainly it can, but you may see a feather in a magazine. You may see it painted on the side of a van. You may see it on a TV show. So it can come in a multitude of ways. Just be open to how it shows up. Does that make sense?
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you, Julie, so much.
You are so welcome. One other thing, too, Kathy, is the more you do it, the more you talk with him, the more validation you're going to get. The more validation you get, the more you're going to trust it. And then it's just going to be second nature. Because I promise you he's around you all the time. Just talk to him. All righty?
Okay. Well, I guess I need to do a better job of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's all right. You know, we just use different modalities. Thanks so much for calling. Enjoy your vacation in Florida.
Okay. Thank you, Julie.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Susan next. Hi, Susan.
Hey, Julie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. Thank you for asking.
Where are you located?
I'm in your home. Well, I'm where you are right now. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
Hot dog, sweet home, baby.
You could yes. You can probably tell by my accent.
Yes, I can. I can talk like you if I need to, darling, but you know, I'm a Yankee. I'm born in Yankee country, but my husband's from here. That's how I ended up here, and I love it. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Well, good. I do too. I've pretty much been here my whole life, so obviously I like it a lot.
Terrific. Will you have a question for me?
I do, Julie. I've been having gastric intestinal issues for over 3 years and have just gone every, colonoscopy, surgeries, medicines, and nobody can get to the bottom of it. And my main complaint is that I have bloating and gas all the time.
Okay.
And it's just, it's miserable.
I'm sorry. All right, let me get you on my radar, Susan, and we'll see what's going on. So here we go.
Okay.
Here comes my laser beam from my house to yours here in Birmingham. All right, you didn't have to go very far. You're close by. So
that's right. Not like the last couple ones.
That's right. Yeah, like Tasmania. That was a little bit of a journey.
Yeah.
Okay, you're full of yeast overgrowth. Have you been, if you had surgery, you were on antibiotics. Were you on them before antibiotics, steroids, lots of different medicines?
Yeah, I've been on them. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What it does, Susan, is it disrupts the gut biome. So that's all the viruses and bacteria and parameciums and whatever else is in there. And it allows yeast to grow. And then it makes our guts a fermentation factory. And that's what causes the gas and bloating. If you add yeast to bread and then your bread dough and then you set it aside and what happens? It rises, right? It poofs up. And that's what happens in our gut. Mm-hmm. So if you send me an email, Julie@AskJulieRyan.com, I'll send you a link to a gut biome test. And that's going to be really helpful for you because it's going to tell you not only what the ecosystem is in your gut, but more importantly, based on that, it's going to tell you here are your superfoods, here are the foods for you to avoid, here's everything else. Eat this a lot, eat this a little. And so that'll be the first thing.
Okay.
Secondly, yeast loves sugar, Susan, and loves anything refined. So do your best to just stay low on the food chain. I like to use the philosophy myself. If God made it, I eat it. If man made it in a factory, I do my best to avoid it. Not 100% of the time, but shoot for 80. And that's going to be helpful. Stay away from fermented foods because that's just like pouring gas on the fire. It's going to make it worse. So wine, beer, alcohol, kimchi, sauerkraut, yogurt, pickles, vinegar, that kind of stuff. Stay away from that stuff. If you're going to eat fruit, peel it because there's tons of yeast on the peel. Stay away from juice. Juice is just full of yeast and it's just straight sugar. It's like a sugar IV. What else? Freeze and reheat leftovers. And I'm the Ziploc bag queen. I put everything in Ziploc bags, even soup, and then lay it flat on a shelf in your freezer, Susan. And when it's frozen, I'll mark it with a Sharpie pen beforehand. And then when it's frozen, then I'll stack the packages upright like files in a file drawer, in a drawer in my freezer. You're going to save so much food and so much room in your freezer. And then get a hold of some nice statin, which is an antifungal, Nystatin. It's a prescription. So ask your doctor for some nice statin. That'll clear it up pretty quickly. And that will make you feel better, I promise.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Okay, Julie.
All righty, everybody. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Catherine. So stay with us. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Welcome back. Our next caller is Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Julie. I'm in Salt Lake City. Thanks for taking my call. When I muscle test, it says that I just have kind of a bad cold, but I wondered if you could scan me just to be sure I didn't want to have a mild case of COVID, because it's kind of taking me a while to get back on track.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading out to you in Salt Lake. All right. Got you. Shooting energy. I think you have COVID, Catherine. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing the virus out the top of your head. And what you want to do is you want to, do you have vitamin C and zinc in your home?
Yes. And I'm also doing oil of oregano.
Good. So 1,000 milligrams of C. I like the buffered C. Ester C is my fave. And 50 of zinc. Good. Do it 3 times a day. Go to 10,000 IUs of D3. D3 is really important.
Okay.
And then you want to take some K2 with it as well. And I think the normal dose, you'll have to look that up, but I want to say the normal dose of K2 is 150 micrograms. You can look that up online. But the K2 helps the D3 absorb. And then get your body in the sun for at least 20 minutes a day. If you don't have the energy to take a walk, then sit in the sun, like on a patio or something, and get that vitamin D. Okay. And it's just like a bad cold.
All right. Thank you very much, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. You sweet thing. It's tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I'm impressed you knew.
Oh.
Thank you. So
mine was yesterday, so
happy birthday to you. But
thank you.
It's really important to get in the sun, because people that are hospitalized with COVID are D3 deficient. They're deficient in D. So the sun's going to help you do that. Okay, I hope you feel better.
Great, thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye. Okay, let's go to Evelyn next. Hi, Evelyn.
Hello. Hi, Julie. This is Evelyn.
Hi, Evelyn. Where are you located?
And I'm calling from California.
Okay, what part?
The Central Valley.
Okay, terrific. Got a question for me?
Great. Yes, I want to know if you could do a healing on my brother. He's 44 years old. His name's David. He had a heart attack, let's say, 3 years ago. And since then, he's been depressed about it. And his heart has, not been as healthy as it should. I don't want to use negative words here. So I'm constantly worried about him. And he texted me something yesterday that really saddened me. But I know worry's not good. So I'm being optimistic about it. And just hopefully you're able to, give him a little scan and have some good news.
So he said something awful, because is he depressed, Evelyn, too? It's not just health. Does he have depression? Sometimes people that have heart attacks have a depression issue that comes with that. Is that what's going on with David?
His wife died 12 years ago, and, ever since then, he was the same, and he is depressed. he's told me, he's like, you don't understand. No one understands. And I'm like, you're right. I don't. I've never been depressed. I don't know what it feels like. But he doesn't want to live anymore. I think he's given up on life, and I just don't know how to pump him up to, be happy and content. And it's easy for me to say, but he's the one that feels.
Right. I think he needs professional help from a licensed therapist, Evelyn. And a website that I send people to a lot is SAMSHA, something like that, SAMHSA, SAMHSA, I think, .gov.
Oh, okay.
And it's a free website, and it will help him find somebody in his area that can help him. That's what you can do to help him the most, is to get a professional therapist, professional licensed psychotherapist who can help him with his depression. And there's not a lot others can do, but somebody that knows what they're doing and does this for a living will be a huge help to him. And they'll help you even if you contact them. They will help you figure out how to get him to see them. And there are hotlines there that are free that you can talk to. And I'm getting that that's going to be the best thing that you can do for him at this stage. Okay. And then also, if you just do an internet search, Evelyn, on suicide, hotlines will come up, and there are resources for family members to help, and even a lot of local hospitals
they
will
told
help
him
as well.
He needs to transplant a new heart, and he pretty much told me yesterday that he wasn't going to do it, and I told him why not.
I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you get closer to your phone?
Yes. They told him that he needed a heart transplant yesterday. He went to see the cardiologist, and he asked him if he put himself in the list, and he said no. He said he refused it. And I feel like I think he's pretty much giving up on himself already.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because of his depression.
Sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's the best thing that you can do, is try and get him some help from a professional, and then go from there with the physical. That's what I'm getting, is to deal with the emotional first. And I think it's good for you to get that help as well, because this is so hard on the loved ones watching that. How are you holding up?
He lives in San Diego County, and I live in Central California, so I'm assuming he's probably going to want to live over here with me in the meantime. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Like, I've never experienced that much pain. Someone goes through that much pain, and I don't know physically, mentally, if I'm ready for that. So I'm always praying, like, I want him to get better, and hoping he does. But you're right. I often need counseling because it's not easy for anybody.
Yeah. Well, a counselor can help you too, and help you strategize, not only if it makes sense for him to come to you so you can help care for him, or if there's something in your area that can help, and then you can visit him. So good luck with that. Look out for those resources. They're there, and they're wonderful to use. Thanks for calling. Alrighty, everybody, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll get more callers on. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Welcome back. We do this show every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 667-770-1476, and the access code is 483620#. Now, this information is available on my website, AskJulieRyan.com, and in the show notes anywhere you download podcasts. We are on all of the networks, all of the podcast networks, all the big ones, and also on YouTube and Alexa. So please remember to follow. I think it used to say subscribed and now it says follow. So you'll be notified when the new show posts. We usually post it Friday morning. So we'll do that. And then let's see. And be sure to leave a review at ratethispodcast.com/Julie. That's ratethispodcast.com/Julie. And then you'll be entered into a drawing and you may win a free session with me valued at a couple of $100. And so I choose a winner the first of every month. So the first Thursday of every month, I'm going to give away a free session. I give away at least 12 of them a year. So you may be the lucky winner. ratethispodcast.com/Julie. Call-in details can also be found on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest at Ask Julie Ryan. And we'll always post a reminder the day of the show with all the call-in information. We'll say, okay, remember, if you got a question, call in tonight. And hopefully I'll get you on. While you're on my website, be sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter, my blog. It's a question somebody submitted online along with my answer. And it's always fun to see where those come in from and what the questions are. You know, they're all across the board, all kinds of questions. You can also schedule an appointment with me while you're there. Then we'll have a whole hour to talk about whatever you want to discuss. We can talk to your dead grandma. We can scan your pet. We can scan you. We can talk about past lives. I can tell how close to death somebody is. So we cram a lot into that hour. And it's a good thing I talk fast because I can cram a lot into that hour. And it's really fun. I promise we'll have a ball when we're together. So get on my calendar. That's the key. Get on my calendar and then periodically check the reschedule button on your confirmation email, because that's how you'll find out if sooner appointments become available. People reschedule multiple times a week. I talk to people every week. They say, oh my gosh, I was on your calendar for a couple of months out and I got in tomorrow. And I'll say, great. Or I got in the next day. I'm already talking to them and it's tomorrow. So everything you need to know can be found at AskJulieRyan.com. All right. This week, our question comes from Mary, and Mary lives in Great River, New York. And she said, hi, Julie. I'm hoping you can do a scan on my ears. I've been following you and trying to do the dippity-do. Haha, love that. It cracks me up. Stem cell healing on both of my ears, but it's just not working. Can you please send stem cell healing to my ears? If I could call your podcast, I would, but I cannot hear the phone. And well, it would be amazing if you do answer my email and are able to heal me and I end up hearing naturally again. I could just call in to say hi. I love your show, and I'm grateful you have closed captions on YouTube so I can watch. Thank you, Julie. Have a pleasant day. Mary. I just thought that was so cute. That email was just too cute, so I had to choose it. All right, here's my response. Hi, Mary. Thanks for your kind comments about my show and for submitting your question. What fabulous energy you have. I've been smiling from the moment I read your email. I'm smiling again now, reading it again, reading it to all of you listening. As for your hearing healing, no one heals anybody else. We all heal ourselves. How this works is, I'll do my best to help you by sending energy to you. Then you and your spirit will integrate the energetic healing in a way that will best facilitate what you want to explore in this lifetime. That's what your spirit wants to explore in this lifetime. We're usually not cognizant of it, but our spirit sure knows. And I went on to say, so here goes. When I connected with you energetically, I was led to your left ear first. In my mind's eye, it looked like your eustachian tube was disintegrating. I'd never seen that before. So it just looked like it was disintegrating. Like if you had a sand figure and then you crumbled it and it just, went to all the sand particles in your hand. When I checked your right side, the same was happening there, although it was to a lesser degree than on the left side. The Cleveland Clinic says eustachian tube dysfunction usually isn't serious, but if symptoms linger for several weeks and are left untreated, it could lead to serious health problems such as hearing loss, tinnitus, or damage to your eardrum and middle ear. When I see something like this, like the eustachian tube starting to disintegrate, and I've never seen it before, and I've scanned tens of thousands of people over the years, I've never seen this before, so I look it up, and sure enough, that's a thing. Eustachian tubes can disintegrate. I went on to say your favorite stem cell energy looks like an amber-colored gel with sparkles in it. Reminds me of Dippity Doo, which was a hair gel used in the 60s and 70s, by the way. It was used to regenerate both of your eustachian tubes. Next, I checked out your eardrums. Again, the left side seemed to be more problematic. It looked like a keloid, which is a raised scar, had formed on your eardrum. Perhaps you had one or more ear infections that didn't heal properly. A lot of times we have ear infections when we're kids and they don't heal properly, and it leaves a keloid which changes the reverberation of sound on the eardrum. So what I do is I cut out the keloid, spirit working through me and with me, and then use stem cell energy again to generate a new eardrum. The same procedure was done on your right eardrum as well. I sure hope this healing helps you hear better. It'd be my delight to have you on my show whenever you want. So, Miss Mary from Great River, New York, thanks for submitting that question. I hope that helps your hearing, and you just let me know when you're calling in, and I will get you on as a special guest. So, thanks for submitting that. Alrighty, let's go back to the phones and see who our next caller is. I believe our next caller is Victoria. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Julie. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. I was on a call with somebody in New Zealand this afternoon and the doorbell rang, and it was 24 pink long stem roses from my husband, Tim. So I said, I'm sorry, I have to put you on hold while I go answer the door. And so they're on my dining room table. I'll put a picture of them up on my social media. But thank you so much. Where are you located?
That's my favorite color. Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Okay. Got a question for me?
I do. Actually, I've been waiting. I've been on the phone for 2 hours waiting to talk to you. And since I've been waiting, it must be your energy because I'm totally shifting the focus off me and I'm putting it on my oldest son. And I just feel so much better. So my question is, he and his wife have done 2 cycles of IVF.
Yeah.
2 zygotes did implant first time around. Second time around, they did not. I did ask him. He's a Christian. I asked him if you could pray for him. So I don't know what his higher self's going to say. But Sean, his name is Sean, S-E-A-N. They're up in Alberta, Canada, in Calgary. And he has his vas deferens are plugged. He's a CF carrier, he found out. He's healthy, and they were able to get his spermazoa, through the needle and everything. And I've just been praying that, there's some kind of miracle that he could naturally be healed, because he's a constable. She works as a bookkeeper, and IVF is still expensive, even with socialized medicine up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So CF carrier, is he concerned about that, or they're just willing to take their chances on that? Cystic fibrosis is what I'm assuming you're referring to?
That's correct. And we had no clue. I don't have any contact with his father, but this was so new for all of us. But they are trying to start a family. She's going to be 38. She's going to be 39 and he's going to be 37. So the window's kind of closing. I don't know. Is there any way you could scan him or send him some kind of healing?
Sure. Yeah. What's his wife's name?
His wife's name is Mae, M-A-E.
Okay. That's a pretty old-fashioned name, isn't it? Mae, you don't hear that very often.
She's just the most precious. She's so I just love my daughter-in-law.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I think the days of, of awful mothers-in-law have ceased. Everybody I know gets along great with their daughters-in-law, and including me. Mine's fabulous. Sounds like yours is too. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect into Mae first and see if there are any baby spirits attached to her energy field. So I'm going to connect to you first, Victoria, and then from you up to Mae. All right. Got her. She has 3 babies' energies attached to her energy field. So they look like little orbs. There's my music, Victoria. I'm going to hold you over on the break, and I'll see if Sean will let me work on him, and then when we come back, we'll regroup. Stay with us, everybody. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'll be right back. Welcome back. We have Victoria on the phone from Colorado Springs. Victoria, you still with us?
I am.
Okay, good. I worked on your big baby boy, while during the break. And first of all, Mae, your daughter-in-law, has 3 baby spirits attached to her energy field. They look like orbs. Have you ever seen an orb in a photograph, perhaps a family photograph?
I have chills because right after the implantation of the first IVF, I actually saw some orbs around her.
There you go. Yeah. Good job. You need to be in my class, girl.
Oh my God. I got chills.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you get chills, by the way, that's just spirit saying, yep, that's validation. Goosebumps, angel bumps, chills, validation bumps. Yeah, that's just spirit saying, yeah, you got it. So 3 baby spirits, they're not triplets. They're spaced out. They remind me of planes coming in to land in an airport at night, and they have their landing lights on, and you can see them stacked out in the distance. That's how they look to me. So there's that.
And Sean's father was a pilot, so that's a neat analogy. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh,
awesome.
There you go. Yeah, well, Colorado Springs, was he in the Air Force? Did he go to the academy?
He was in the airport. Yeah, he went to the academy. You're spot on.
Yeah, I figured Colorado Springs. So anyways, I worked on Sean. Sean gave me permission to work on him. I worked on him over the break.
Oh, yay.
His vase deferens, however you pronounce it, had a bend in it. Kind of like if you fold a piece of paper, it's not straight. It had a bend in it. So it's open, but those swimmers need to make a really sharp turn to, do their thing. So what I watched in the healing, Victoria, was imagine like a clear straw was put in that tube, teeny weeny, and it is going to hold that tube open and straight so that those swimmers, those spermies, can just get straight out without having to make that turn. Makes me think of a car race. They'll say, okay, taking the last turn on, at the whatever mile marker. That's what's going on with him. I don't know if that's shown up on the scans or if they've even done any scans on him, but I think that's what was going on. It's open. I roto-rooted it. I watched a little corkscrew go in and do that. But when I saw that turn, I thought, okay, we got to reinforce this to keep it open. I think they're going to have multiple children. I think they're going to be pregnant. I think you're going to be a grandmother at some point.
Oh my God. Well, Julie, I know I've got to go, but I talked to you last October. You brought through my deceased son, Patrick. And again, I thank you so much. Thank you so much. To be a grandmother after losing my other son, thank you so much.
No, you are so welcome. And so you probably heard me talking with our caller Kathy earlier. Do you talk to Patrick?
All the time.
All the time. Does he answer you?
He does. I've been in not a really good place, and that was my first question. I'm not going there because I'm so happy right now. I haven't been able to connect with him because my vibration's been super, super low lately. Yeah. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. Spirit is, they don't have trouble, but they don't communicate as easily on the I Feel Crappy channels. So when you're in that kind of a mood, Victoria, just think of something you're grateful for. Gratitude will boost your energy faster than anything. Grateful for the air you breathe. Grateful for that beautiful topography where you live. Grateful for the clouds in the sky, whatever. Grateful that you have water to drink. Just get down to the basics and go to gratitude, and that'll get your energy level up, and then Patrick will be able to communicate with you easier. So thanks for calling. Let us know when the babies come. Send pictures. I'll post them.
I will, Julie. Thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All righty, let's go to Lee next. Hi, Lee. Lee, are you with me?
Hello.
Hi, Lee.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can.
Can you hear me?
Where are you located?
Okay. San Francisco, California.
Okay. Terrific. You got a question for me?
My question tonight is, I have a bad hip and I haven't walked for about 2 years. And actually it was my daughter that gave me your number. And, I was just wondering if you could just help me out in any way.
Yeah.
That would be good.
You haven't walked because it's just too painful, or your hip won't support you, or what? Or both?
Yeah, my ball joint, it's like my ball joint and all my cartilage in my left hip, it's gone.
Oh,
and
geez.
I've been like on bone to bone for a long time. And, so I just found it best just to lay in bed.
Oh, heavens.
That's pretty much how I've been for the past 2 years.
Did you go see a doctor? Did you go see an orthopedist?
I did go into the hospital to get I thought I had a appendix, but it was my gallbladder. And when I went in there, they took x-rays and they said, yeah, you need a new hip. And I was trying to get the surgery done, but then when COVID hit, they canceled all my appointments. So now I'm just back at square one.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, total hips they're so much easier than they used to be. There is no reason for you to suffer. I'm going to get you on my radar right now, but I'm an inventor of orthopedic surgery devices sold throughout the world that are used for total joints. So I've been in a boatload of those procedures, Lee. And how they do it now, it's outpatient in a lot of cases. So you go in, you are going to be out of pain immediately. People will tell you when they get a new joint, my husband has 2 new knees. I mean, the surgery pain is nothing compared to the pain before you have the surgery. And, just do not delay. Get on that. Get in to see a doctor.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is I'm adding stem cell energy to add some padding around your hip joint so it's not so much bone on bone there. All right, doing that now. But, yeah, go talk to a surgeon.
Thank you.
Get that done. You are going to be a new man. You're going to have a new lease on life, and it will be just an amazing gift that you give yourself. No reason to suffer. Get that done. Hope you feel better.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, everybody, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll see who's next. I think it's Denise. So we'll see what Denise has to say. Welcome back. We've got Denise on the line. Hi, Denise.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm terrific. How are you doing?
All right, hanging in there.
Great. Where are you located?
And happy birthday for tomorrow is your birthday, right?
Thank you. Yes, it is. Thank you.
I'm calling in tonight for about my daughter. She has bipolar and diabetes. She's having some marriage problems. I was just wondering if you could foresee anything. It's really bad at this point.
Okay. So where are you located, Denise?
Toms River, New Jersey.
Okay. And is your daughter close by?
Yes, she's in the next town, Jackson.
Okay. And she's having marital problems. I was having a little trouble hearing you. She's having marital problems.
She's having marital problems.
And she's bipolar.
Bipolar, and she's got diabetes, type 1 diabetes.
Is she under medical care? Does she have a doctor or a therapist with whom she works?
She does. She does for everything. Yeah.
Okay. And so your question is about their marriage. What in particular?
They're talking divorce and just wondering if you see that in the future or if they could hang in there. They've only been married 2 years.
Yeah, right now I'm getting that that's highly likely, highly probable that they will get divorced. Future events are fluid, Denise, so there are a bazillion variables that can come into affect an outcome. And that all I can give you is the information that I'm getting right now at this moment in time. That could be different next week, next month, next year. But the best thing that you can do for her, and we talked about this with an earlier caller, is to help her with her bipolar issues. And also her diabetes too, because blood sugar can certainly affect behavior. But if you can help her stabilize, it's going to help her save her marriage.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I've been trying. So
I'm not sure how that's going to look. The other thing too, Denise, and I think this applies to all of us, it's harder when it's your child because as parents, we want to try and grease the skids for them. We want it to be easier for them. And I think the thing that helps if we can remember that this is her path, this is her spirit's path. All you can do is make suggestions and offer your help. And then you got to let her do what she's going to do because we don't know what her spirit came in to explore and experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And
which
she's
is hard.
Strong-willed, so
it's hard. Yeah. To
Very.
stand by and watch that.
Very.
But right now I'm getting that looks like that's where they're headed. And the other thing too to remember, Denise, is things that we think are going to be awful. Sometimes, we've all experienced things that we think, oh my gosh, if that happens, that's going to be awful. But then when we get on the other side of it, we think, oh, I'm glad that happened. So if they do get divorced, it may be that she's going to meet somebody else that's even going to be better suited for her. So, be open to all the possibilities.
Right.
Okay. All righty. I hope that helps.
That's a good way to think of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Let's go to Erica next. Hi, Erica.
Hi, Julie.
How are you?
Good. And you?
Good, thanks. Where are you located?
I'm fine. I just talked to you the other day.
I'm sorry, you cut out. Say that again.
I said it. I'm from Palmdale, California. We just talked the other day.
Yes, we did. It didn't say, it just says Erica on my dashboard. So you could be any Erica anywhere.
It doesn't say Eddie.
It doesn't. It just says Erica.
Yeah.
Well, terrific. Got a question for me?
We'll say I'm a new person.
All right. You just disclosed that you're not, though. So,
Ouch.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yes, I do have a question. I have a question. My granddaughter got in a really bad accident last week. She's only 3 months, and she has been very fussy and crying. So I wanted to see if you could scan her and see if there's something fractured or something wrong, or car rolled over with her mom and her
heavens
her other grandparents. So
wow,
yeah, and she's only 3 months, so I know she was over today, and she was not the same baby that usually comes over.
What's her name, Erica?
Her name is Penelope.
Okay. Do you call her Penelope?
I call her Penelope, but her name is Juliet. Juliet Penelope.
Wow. She kind of sounds like a princess. Juliet Penelope. All right. I'm going to connect to you and from you to the baby. Here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama. Got you. Got her. I'm asking permission if I can scan her. What's your grandma name?
My grandma name?
Mm-hmm. What are you going to call yourself when she starts talking? Nana?
Oh, Grandma. Grandma.
I'm getting Nana. She's calling you Nana. She said, if my Nana says okay, it's okay. That's why I asked if they call you Nana, but she's calling you Nana, at least in my head. Okay, so there you go. She's giving you a telepathic name there. All right, so I'm scanning her. Did she go to the hospital? Did they check her out?
She did. They went to the hospital and they said there was some fracture in her skull.
Oh,
and I don't know if it was a fracture in her neck bone or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but minor tear.
Yeah. And then that was just it.
But
she's got some fractures, but see ya, bye.
Yeah, that was it.
I get her over.
That was all.
Get her to Children's.
Doesn't seem to.
Get her to Children's. Get her to.
They did take her over there.
Take her to Children's in LA or take her to CHOC, Children's Hospital of Orange County. I would get her seen again by somebody in at Children's. Yeah, I would do that. Absolutely. Yeah. The other thing is you've got Amen Clinics there in Costa Mesa, Erica, and I would call them and see if they don't treat babies, they're going to know who you can go to treat babies. Yeah, I would get her seen, and I would get her seen by somebody that specializes in pediatrics.
Okay. Are you seeing anything?
Yeah, she's got a concussion. Is what I'm seeing. So I can see a couple of hairline fractures. The concussion's way more of the issue at this stage of the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, way more. So I've got that segmented off, if you will. I've put a barrier around it. It's not a bleed right now, but it's a concussion at this point. Yeah, I think she needs to be seen by somebody who's a pediatric specialist.
Okay. I'll let my son know.
All righty. I hope they feel better. How can you have a grandbaby? You're only 25. How can you have a grandbaby?
I meant to disclose that the other day. No, I'm 42. I wish I was 25.
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. Well, I hope she feels better.
You know what? My husband is the one calling on that 805. He just didn't speak up his name because he was nervous, but he's waiting on the line to talk to you, hopefully.
All righty. Thanks, Erica. Take care. Hope she feels better.
Thanks so much.
You
Bye.
bet. Bye-bye.
Talk to you later. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, gosh. Let's go to Jeanette next. Hi, Jeanette.
Hi.
Where are you located? Hi. Where are you located?
I'm located in San Jose, California.
Hi, Miss San Jose. Got a question for me?
I sure do. I'm 71 years old, and 5 years ago I was diagnosed with gastroparesis. That's where your stomach muscles don't work properly and you have very slow transit. And I eat mostly baby food. And I want to know if you can do any healing. And I'm so sensitive to supplements, medications. My body can't tolerate them. And I was just hoping that you could scan my abdomen or whatever, that maybe I could be like a normal person again and eat at a restaurant?
Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness, girl. All right. Yeah. I'm connected into you now. I'm in your intestines.
And what caused this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what caused this gastroparesis?
Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna work on you over the break, Jeanette. When we come back, I'll get you back on.
Okay.
Stay with us, everybody. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Before the break, we had Jeanette on the phone.
Hi.
Jeanette, you still with us? Okay, good.
Yes, I am.
So what I did was I did a healing on you during the break. I was in your intestines. You know the children's book, The Hungry Caterpillar, where it's got like an apple and it's got the green caterpillar on the cover of it? That's what your intestines looked like. And so I watched kind of like an inchworm. There were these rings throughout your intestines that were opening and closing, trying to push, the food and the waste through your intestines. So then I put stem cell energy in there, spirit working through me and with me to help regenerate your intestines and the mobility of moving food through. Consider scheduling an appointment with me, and then we'll have a whole hour to reverse engineer all your symptoms and see what we can do. But that's what I was able to do during the break. So I hope that helps. Thanks for calling.
You don't see anything in my stomach?
I took the time to work on your intestines. Like I said, if you'd schedule an appointment, then we'll have a whole hour to work on all of this and really get to the bottom of it. But that's what I was able to do this evening. So I hope it helps. Hope you feel better. Thanks for calling. All righty, let's go to Lachey next. Hi, Lachey. Lachey.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
There you are. Hi, my girl. How are ya?
I'm doing well.
Good. Where are you? Where are you located?
I am currently located in Kennesaw, Georgia.
Okay, terrific. Outside of Hotlanta. Not far from me.
Yes.
Yeah. Got a quick question for me?
I do actually, and it's not really anything medical related, but
that's fine.
I was more so, so I was wondering more so about if there's anything you can read in like my energy or auric field, if, just like to get a generic sense of if I am on track with anything or if there's anything that, needs to be assessed that I can fix to raise my energy or vibration levels, because I've been wondering about that lately.
Yeah, get more sunlight. Got to get more sunshine. Go out for walks, even if it's early in the morning. You got to get more sun.
Okay.
That's the big thing. Are you thinking of changing careers or something like that, Lachey?
I am, like right now. I'm working in an office setting, so I don't really get as much sunlight throughout the day. I'm in there for 9 hours.
Yeah.
But I do my best to get periodic sunshine and sunlight when I can.
Yeah. Go out at lunchtime. Take a quick walk at lunchtime. I get you're under the fluorescent lights and inside, and you probably leave early in the morning before you have time to go for a walk. So maybe take a quick walk. Do you get an hour or half an hour for lunch? How long do you get for lunch?
I do get an hour, and some days I do get to, I usually like to read on my lunch breaks outside.
Yeah.
So I do that on occasion, but I do know that when I'm inside, it seems like my energy is more drained because also being in front of a computer for a long period of time does that to me.
Yep. I'm getting go outside, but I'm also getting go for a walk. So you get an hour, go for a walk for 20 minutes at least and get some sunlight, and then you can read while you eat your lunch for another 20 minutes. And then that gives you 10 minutes to get in and out of the building. See, I got it all figured out for you, girl. I mean, Just go for a walk.
That sounds like a good deal.
Yeah. And you're going to feel a whole lot better. I'm getting you being inside under those fluorescent lights and all those EMFs and stuff. You need to ground. When you're eating your lunch, if it's a nice day, take your shoes off and put your feet in the grass, because that will help you ground and get all that EMF stuff out of your body. And you're going to feel a lot better. And just moving a little bit. And if it's blistering hot and you can't go out because you'll just be like a sweat hog when you come back, then do the steps. Go up and down the stairs. All right. Just go up and down the stairs in your building for 10 minutes even. Just walk the stairs. And then, or I've done this in hotels when they don't have a workout room and the weather's really bad and I can't go outside. I'll walk up a set of stairs, walk down the hall, walk down the other set of stairs, walk down that hall, and you can do that too. So you've got laps in between the stairs, and that's going to help you a lot with that too. So I hope that helps. Okay. Thanks for calling.
It definitely does. Thank you so much.
You bet. Easy stuff, little steps. Okay. Take care. Bye, Lachey.
Absolutely.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody, that's it for this week. Fun questions, fun callers. To all of you that called in that I didn't get to, please call back next week. I'll do my best to get you on. Let me know you called in last week, and I'll get you in the queue and hopefully get you on and see what your questions are. In the meantime, everybody have a wonderful weekend. As you've heard, it is my birthday tomorrow. One of my best friends is flying in from Columbus, Lisa. We've been friends since I was 10 and she was 12. She's an older woman. And so we've got lots of fun things planned. Tim will be here too. And so we'll be doing lots of fun things. And I just hope that you all have a wonderful weekend too. And I'll meet you back here next Thursday night. Same place, same station. Sending y'all lots of love from Sweet Home, Alabama. Mwah. Bye, everybody.
Be sure to follow Julie on Instagram and YouTube at Ask Julie Ryan and like her on Facebook at Ask Julie Ryan. To schedule an appointment or submit a question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.
This show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical, psychological, financial, or legal advice. Please contact a licensed professional. The Ask Julie Ryan Show, Julie Ryan and all parties involved in producing, recording, and distributing it assume no responsibility for listeners' actions based on any information heard on this or any Ask Julie Ryan shows or podcasts.